couple minutes after 2. There may be some more people joining us, but I want to get started on time. Wow, that's all I have to say. So I'm going to start just by giving you a little bit of an overview of what we're going to do. I will share a little bit about what's been going on, what I've been noticing, and then we'll do a group healing. It's more of an activation just to help us all raise our vibration and help keep our vibration strong through what's swirling around us. Because anyone that's attracted to coming onto this call, there's a calling to help others, even if it's just to be the calm in the storm, even if it's just you being grounded and centered while other people are having issues. And that's really important, that we come together and find ways to support each other. And this is my way of offering that support to you. So there's that. And then the bulk of this call, we're going to try something new. I've done this on radio shows before, where we're actually going to do live one-on-ones, and we'll keep it really short and have each person really focus on one thing that's up for you right now. It could be a physical thing that you're going through, or it could be emotional or spiritual, whatever it is. The main thing, and I'll say this again to remember, is I am not a medical doctor. I'm not here to diagnose or treat anything. I'm just here to be of love and assistance with the way that I bring through information and healing energy. Okay. So let's get started. And what I want to say to begin with is what an amazing time that we're in. It can feel all different ways depending on your point of view in the moment and how much you're being exposed to others' anxiety, because there's definitely a lot of anxiety out there right now. But the cool thing is, and I just was talking to Jeannie about this, like it was a day or two ago, I started feeling something that I've had before, where I was getting like sore lymph nodes back here. And it's funny because at first I was like, oh no, my body's fighting something off. Like that's the typical place my mind goes. But I knew fairly quickly, because when this has happened before, I was about to get some sort of major physiological and energy shift in my own body. And this was my body's way of kind of saying, okay, take it easy, rest, lay down, whatever. So last night when I went to bed, and I was really sore and hurting, and I was just like, what? I was kind of in that just not feeling really good. And I lay down, and it was amazing what happened. Now, I feel very fortunate that I have an awareness of when I have certain kinds of physical symptoms, that I actually know that I'm not like coming down with something. I'm not getting sick. I'm actually having some energy shift. Because if I didn't have that awareness, I probably would have thought I was going crazy, or I was about to become very, very ill. But as I was laying there, it was so cool, because I could feel, like in the neurology of my head mostly, but my whole being, I could feel myself being worked on. And the message I got, and I slept great. After a little while, I fell asleep, and I woke up this morning with this, still that tingling back here, but feeling much better about it. Like I wasn't judging it. I was just kind of letting it be what it is. And this awareness came over me as I was kind of contemplating what was going on, that this was not just me. This was a planetary energy shift, and that a lot of people were feeling the same thing that I was feeling. Hi, Gabriella. Good to see you. And you can mute yourself. If anyone that's coming on, mute yourself on the bottom lower left-hand corner. So anyway, I woke up, and just with this feeling of I could feel like the people on the planet were feeling the same thing. It just, everyone was going to have a different experience of what it is. but the energy is shifting so quickly and so intensely at times that we can think that there's something like drastically wrong, like with or if you're in fear about getting this virus, you're like, oh my God, is that a first symptom? It's like, this is just human nature. But I'm telling you this because I want you to be aware that there may be times where you're feeling some very strange things that you might not be used to, or that you felt before and, took an ibuprofen for, but that's not what it is. Oftentimes it's this energy shift that we're going through. So I have a feeling I'm not telling some of you at least anything new. You're very aware of feeling the energy that's happening right now. So so that's the first thing. The second thing is something that came through this morning on our Amplify Love group on Facebook, whether you're on Facebook or not. If you are and you haven't joined Amplify Love, it's turning out to be like this amazing experience for me. And I know the people that are showing up there to just really be in a place of the vibration we're creating feels very high. And when I say high, I don't mean in a hierarchical way. It's like it's allowing us to step out of the density of what's swirling around and join together with the intention of love and the intention of expanding love instead of fear, right? So this morning, someone shared something so beautiful on the page, and it was really about reaching out to others, and it was beautiful. And I added a piece that I felt was really an important addition to what this other person had written, which is that we are here at this time, and for many of us, especially those gathered on this call and listening to this broadcast, is that we're here to kind of lead the way in this time. And we have to have great compassion for others who may not be aware of that for themselves, if that is what they're called to do. They may not yet be aware of it. And also that everyone has their own journey. I know for me, I've gone in and out of feeling worried about my kids, not so much that they're going to catch the virus, but that they are now, Arizona, where they live, is on lockdown. And they both live by themselves and have certain challenges that definitely make it so, they can't maybe get to the grocery store as often, or they have their own challenges. Let's just leave it at that. And then, my parents who are elderly and have physical issues. And then my dad's wife, who goes into New York City every day. She's a doctor at New York Presbyterian Hospital. And she's definitely been sharing some interesting stories about panicking and people hoarding medical supplies and how it's affected her hospital. So all of that made me think about my own mortality. First of all, it's like, well, what if I did get this virus? I mean, there's all sorts of things out there. Like what, would I be one of the ones that, is it my time to go? And when I really tuned in, I was like, nope, that does not feel like what's going to happen. But if it did, I had to kind of look at, all right, well, if that's how I'm going to go, certainly not how I'd like to leave the planet, but it will be that will be my experience. Or if I got sick and felt really awful and then recovered, that would be a different experience. If one of my loved ones gets sick with it and dies, like, it's certainly not something that I, am dwelling on, but I had to just kind of look at it. Well, what would that be like? Because when you have a bigger perspective and you realize that everyone's on their own journey, the reality is there are some people that are going to leave the planet. They already are leaving the planet. It happens every single day, whether there's a virus or not, that people leave the planet. and that they're done with their journey here. And I think now we just have this magnifying glass, pointed at this truth of our lives. And so there's a tendency, I think, especially as healers and helpers and people who are here to offer whatever it is that you're offering, even if it's not healing energy, it might be wisdom, it might be, support in the way of taking a trip to the grocery store for someone. It's really so important that we remember that it's not for us to decide what another's journey is. We're not here to protect them, to shield them from their own journey. That's not for us to decide. If someone's journey is to get ill, or if someone's journey is that this is how their life ends, that's not for us. What we can do, though, is to continue to offer what we're here to offer. It could be wisdom and healing and whatever. And the tricky part is then letting go of any expectations that we have about how it's going to be received or what the other person does with that information. And let it be okay that they have their own journey. Let it be okay in your heart, even though it might be painful. I had my son who went to the grocery store yesterday. He went again today. And I'm like, why are you going out? Like, you just went yesterday. He's like, I know, but he had all these reasons why he went. That's not up to me whether he goes to the grocery store or not. It's like, that's not up to me. So I wanted to share that with you because I think it's definitely one of the challenges that many of us are having right now. Like, how do we assist and do what we can without feeling like we're carrying everyone on our own shoulders, because that's not our job. Taking care of ourselves is. So for this next part, speaking of taking care of ourselves, I've been getting bits and pieces of it, but as we tune in, I know we will be guided, all of us as a group, to what is in the highest for us right now. So this is before we get to the Q&A part. And that is right here, right now, as you're listening to this live or later to the recording. Just feel your own physical being right now. Just feel the presence of your awareness. You, the you that is sitting in the chair or standing up or whatever you're doing. Just feel yourself noticing yourself sitting there. You don't have to change your breath at all, but just noticing your breath now. Breathing in and out, this beautiful life force coming in and out and through you. And this breath, this air, is the same air we're all breathing. No matter what the physical barriers that we've put out there in front of us, around us, whether we're in a house or we've isolated, following guidelines from our government, or whether you're out in nature listening to this. Just feel that air and how it's connected. All those particles, every particle is connected to all the air particles across the entire planet. And now, just whether it's nighttime, I know we have some people in Europe on the call, whether it's nighttime or daytime, whether it's sunny or cloudy out, just feel through all of that the power of the sun right now. Just feel it beaming down at you right where you are, the power of the sun. All of those particles of light that communicate constantly with our cells and our being. And as we feel the energy of the sun, we're just connecting with the power that the sun has to assist us at this time, to assist us to deeply move into the higher frequencies that the whole planet is moving into. Just feel whether it's the vibration around you or within you, just feel that amplification that has been happening, especially over the last couple of days. There's a vibration always that's happening in our environment, and our bodies are reacting to it constantly. So now, as we're connecting with the sun, we're going to ask that the sun assist us in raising the vibration of our cells, all of our cells, every particle of our being, raising that vibration higher and higher to meet what we're moving into, so that as the planet ascends into this new vibration, that our body follows along with it. And what this does, this higher vibration, this stronger frequency, will assist us so that when we come in contact with fear or actual contaminants in the environment or viruses, bacteria, anything that we're exposed to, that we might, our human mind might say, oh, that could hurt me. Our vibration is, and our frequency is so high and moving so eloquently through us and emanating from us, that nothing that could be harmful to our being can actually survive in this frequency, this higher frequency. So feel all of your cells tingling with this awareness, like, yeah, we got this. Because this is how they're meant to interact with the environment. So just feel yourself being fortified, amplified. There we go, beautiful. And now from this place, just know that whatever you're called to do, whether it's to be out there, communing with others in whatever way feels right for you, helping in whatever way feels right for you, that you've kind of got a boost right there with you, a boost to your immune system, a boost to your endocrine system, your nervous system, your lymphatic system. Even as I speak, I can feel in my own head what I was sharing before, that's all dissipating now. So anywhere in your body that you might be feeling a little tension or a little dis-ease, just feel it resolving right now with this energy, this higher energy. Very good. Beautiful. And now if you could just imagine the most loving energy, the most loving hands, just holding your feet very gently. We're just going to bring this all together, this beautiful activation all together to assist with the integration for you. And as you're feeling these loving hands at your feet, we're just asking every cell in your body, every particle of your being, even those particles that go out beyond your physical body, we're just asking it all to line up, line up, line up, line up, perfect order, all is well. There we go. Beautiful. So before I open it up to questions, and it looks like we already have a question sitting there in the chat room. Before we open it up to questions, I want to again remind everyone that I am not a medical doctor. This is my disclaimer, not a medical doctor, medical professional. And so I'm not here to diagnose, treat anything. I'm just using my abilities as a conduit for healing energies to come through to assist you. So keep that in mind. And then also keep in mind that because this is being recorded, that you are giving permission, if you're speaking, that your question will be semi-public. I'm not going to go and advertise this and send it out everywhere, but I also am not controlling who of this group is going to share it. And it will be also on our Amplify Love page. So just to keep that in mind as well, that you are giving permission and that it's a wonderful way to give back to others. If you ask a question and we have a conversation about it here on this webinar, that you have no idea how it will benefit others. So please give generously in that way and ask the questions that are coming up. So Jeannie has typed in from Beverly a question. Will Cheryl be speaking about doing the global meditation on 4/4 late Saturday night to open the 444 portal? Needs 1 million light workers and star seeds. I love things like this. So this is just my personal take on things like this. I love when people gather together. It's why I felt so strongly called to start the Facebook group, Amplify Love, because something happens when we join forces and join together. That being said, I think our power goes way beyond like an intention to meet at a certain time. One of the things that can happen with things like, someone spearheading a campaign, like everyone is going to get together at this particular time and do that, is there can be a little bit of judgment and trying to make others feel guilty under the guise of, wanting to help and wanting to include everyone. And when you feel passionate about something and sharing like, yes, everyone, we need 1 million people to do this. Yes and no. There are already many, many, many light workers around the world that are doing what they're called to do. And this is contributing to the overall upliftment of our journey right now and helping so many. So what I'm going to say about that, Beverly, is if you feel called to this, first of all, you're welcome to post about it on the Amplify Love page. That is what the page is for. Like but just, I ask that you not say, everyone must join because that's not how it works. Like people have to do what they're called to do. And that might not feel resonant for someone, and we have to be okay with that. Okay, so that's my answer to that one. So who else has a question? And Jeannie, thank you so much for being here and managing the chat room. If you'd rather type your question in the chat room, that's fine. So Gabriella is saying, I feel like my body is feeling the shifts times 10,000. The typical practices that I use to keep my energy up to date haven't really been working, especially as it pertains to my head. So much pressure. Is there anything that you would suggest to help our physical bodies catch up or at least more smoothly embrace these shifts? Yes. And it's not surprising, Gabriella. Gabriella is an amazing energy worker herself. She's incredible. And it is, as I said before, when I was talking about my own thing that I had where I, for a day and a half or so have had like this pain and pressure in my lymph back here. And I could feel that I was being worked on. So I'm going to, right here, right now, Gabriella, I'm just going to tune into what's going on with you. There's and I know you'll get this right away again because of the work that you do in the world. I know you'll understand this, but for everyone as well, um, there is when you're kind of whether you're actually doing a session for someone, Gabriella, or you are just tuning into other people's energy because right now it's hard not to, even family members or your boyfriend or whoever that is. When you're tuning in, what's happening, it looks like, is you're going into kind of a like before you learned all these wonderful techniques about how to do your energy work without um, getting energetically drained. There's a little bit of you kind of going back to the way you used to do it before you like learned how to deal with things. But you actually know, and for everyone there, we all have a central channel, an energy channel that runs through the center of our being. It's not just our physical body, it's our whole being. And just making sure that whether you're doing something formal like working with a client because you're an energy worker, or you're just with someone who is agitated, you want to take a minute if you can and just remember to bring your energy through that channel, like move it back out of your physical body and into that channel, because that channel is a pure channel. It connects you right from your crown right up. I mean, this is how I visualize it. You might visualize it differently, but right up through your crown, up as high as you can imagine, to your highest level of consciousness, whether that's God, angels, the universe, your higher being, whatever you call that. That's how you connect. And when you connect that way, you won't be so wobbly going from side to side. So it's just like a little tweak, Gabriella, because you already know how to do that. But this is just a reminder from you, for you, from your higher levels. Like, you know how to do this. It's just being more conscious right now, taking a minute. You can even tell the person, you know what, give me a minute, even if you have to run to the bathroom, to just go like, okay, get back into center, get back into alignment. Okay, now I can talk, or now I can do the session. Okay, hopefully that helps. So let's see. So Luna, any ideas how to have the intense energy, how not to have the intense energy keep me awake at night? Okay, so Luna, it's interesting because actually, I'm getting a no for you in that. I know it's not probably what you want to hear, but it's a no to the idea of like, I need to go to sleep and I need to make this compartment around me and block anything that's going to prevent me from sleeping, because you're kind of being tapped on the shoulder at this time at night because that's when your mind is totally disengaged. And so you're feeling the energy more at night because you're relaxed enough. So the way to kind of counterbalance that is to make sure, and I know, that you probably are doing this somewhat, make sure that you spend some time during the day when you are wanting to be awake, to get as quiet as you do as when you're going to sleep at night, and welcome in and I'm going to say for you, messages that are trying to come through for you at night, and welcome them in during the day. Say, I'm open to receiving whatever messages, whatever assistance is available to me now. The other thing you can do, and this is for everyone on the call, you can talk to your higher levels. You can talk to your guides and say, look, I'm willing to receive. I'm willing to be a conduit, whatever resonates with you. I'm willing to do this, but here are my requirements. I require that if you are going to keep me up for a little bit, like I'll stay up an hour, But after that, you're going to double up my sleep, and I'm going to wake up even with an hour less sleep. I'm going to wake up refreshed, and you can actually ask for that. So I would say, rather than pushing it away, get curious about what's there, because I think you're going to discover there's some really cool stuff that you're being facilitated by at night. Okay, hopefully that helps. Mwah, love you, Saluna. And Gabriella says, thank you. From, let's see, Marianne. I'm finding that with time on my hands now, that some of the people that I have had some issues with are now popping into my head, and I am realizing that I need to look at these relationships. But I'm finding that I have less patience now, even looking at their Facebook pages. I don't want to unfriend them until I have resolved the feelings within me. Any suggestions? I'm just looking at it again. It is funny because there is a sense of clearing the decks right now. There's no two ways about it. Like the things that were just kind of, even things around my house, I'm noticing, like, I meant to do that and I haven't done it yet. And it's like, now I have to do it. I have to move that picture over an inch because it's been driving me crazy, or just little things. And part of that is the gift of this time that we have to really look at what's important to us. And so, Marianne, as you're looking at, those relationships that you've had, that they were probably bugging you maybe more than you realized. And now it's just, you've got the magnifying glass, right? I'm seeing you nodding your head. Now you've got the magnifying glass and plenty of time to look at it. And what I would say about that is kind of what you said. It's like almost like you already answered your own question, that what if you just give yourself a break for a little bit and just sit with it and see what stirs up within you about it that you might not realize, because there may be something under there that has nothing to do with them, and has everything to do with you and how you are feeling right now. I know that you've just gone through a rough period in your own personal life, and you're still healing. And at this point, if prior to this time of forced isolation and interesting energies that we're going through, if you were already going through a difficult time, and then now this is on top of it, it's understandable that you might not have the kind of patience that you might have had in another time, had you not already been going through a rough time. That's something I've noticed with my daughter. She just has been going through a really rough time, and then this happened, and now it's like, I can't handle my life. And it is asking us to, again, reevaluate and kind of look. So the sense that I have for you, Marianne, is that if you can do some things to kind of distance yourself, like if you have to tell someone, you know what, I haven't been in the talking mood right now. I'll let you know when I'm like ready to have a conversation again. Or, make yourself not look at their Facebook pages. Just like, no, I'm not gonna look at anyone that's triggering me right now. And give yourself some time just to be with yourself and not put that in your face, and see what comes from that, from just taking a little break. I think that you'll find that it is not about them. Okay. So, all right. Gabriella said, thank you. That helped tremendously. I am so glad, Gabriella. Eva, can you see what is hindering me in a sort of breakthrough in my spiritual work, an inner saboteur, something I don't see that I need to work with? Eva. So this is going to resonate with a lot of people on this call, I have a feeling. So thank you for asking this question, Eva. there's this interesting thing that happens when we want to help others and when we feel this calling. And that is, and I've gone through it, and I don't know anyone that doesn't to some extent go through this, where you start trying to figure out how to do what you see in your head, or the visions that you've had, or what other people have told you. Oh, you're such a gifted healer, you should be doing this, or you should be doing that, or you see other people doing similar things and you think, oh, maybe I should be doing that. The problem with having it come from your mind and trying to figure it out is that you can miss a piece that is so important, which has to do with transparency and authenticity and vulnerability. And what happens when you do things from your head, and I can tell you from personal experience, I mean, I was told to do webinars like a year ago, and I was just like, nope, or maybe even longer ago than that. And I think I knew on some level that I was still too much in my ego, and that I still wanted to make it perfect and have it be like a certain way that I thought it should be. And the reality is that when the need appeared, and I just said, okay, just show me how to do this. All of that preparation, and I do have a lot of, if you went on my laptop right now, you'd see all these different courses that I was going to teach and all of these different programs that I was going to do. And, I'm really good at doing that. And I've done that for other business clients. I've helped them create all this stuff. I'm like, why don't I just do that for myself? So Eva, there's like an element of you that I can feel thinks there's like a certain way that you're supposed to do it. It's not exactly a saboteur. It's more that you're really smart and you're really creative. And so you can think of all sorts of ways that might be of assistance. And yet in this time, especially, we're being called to just go, just throw it all up in the air and just say, I don't know. I have some inkling, and maybe I do know some things, but I really I can't see the big picture about what it is that actually is going to be the thing in my path forward. So if you can do that, it's very freeing. It could be a little scary sometimes, I think, but it's very freeing to understand that you are being facilitated by something far greater than your human mind. And that when, as my dear friend Mahulili says, and hopefully she'll listen to this later, she said to me once, she said, I was like, how do you know when it's the right time to do something? And she says, well, I find that when I find myself doing the thing, then I know that that's the time I'm supposed to do it. Right? That for you control freaks, that's going to drive you nuts, because it did me. But it is true. I have found that to be so true. So anyway, thank you, Eva, for asking that question. I know Marianne says, thanks for asking that, Eva, and I know others are probably feeling that too. So what else? What else is going on? What are some of the questions that you've had? Is there anything like going on physically or in your relationships right now? What are any challenges that you're having? What are you feeling right now? What are you called to ask? Let's see. Actually, I just remembered that, so I'm gonna look up. I got an email just before this call from someone who had asked a question. Let me just get that. All right. Okay. So this is from Gerda. And her issue, she said, it's how to be able to stand by and be an observer. Let's see. so it's how, so another piece of that is, how do we know that we aren't interfering when we offer things to people? I'm kind of paraphrasing this here. Um, okay, so I think I get the gist of the question. So, and we talked about it a little bit earlier, but there is, again, kind of like when we were talking about the global meditation, there's some wonderful things happening right now, and people are offering things for other tools for others to use. And it's a really amazing time of sharing. You know, we've been talking about collaborating and wanting to have more of a collaborative feel on the planet. Well, guess what? we're starting to feel that, and I know many of you are as well. So what happens when you come across something and you can feel it yourself, like it made a difference for you, like you had like this miraculous healing because you listened to, you know, an activation that someone did, or you have a you know, I was talking to someone earlier who has this brilliant idea that has to do with collaboration in business, and it's based on something someone's already doing in another country. And yet when she put it out there, it was kind of falling flat with people that she was presenting it to. And it can be really discouraging when that happens. It's like, but look, like this is amazing. And look at here are all the ways that this can help. This can help uplift humanity. And this can, you know, this meditation can heal you. And there has to be a reception on the other end, obviously, for someone to be able to receive what you're offering. And the challenge for us is not, again, not to be attached to how what we offer is received. Even if, okay, so I'll give you a more extreme example. Even if you had this, say you get this download of information, and say you're meditating one day, because I know some of you probably had something like this happen. You're meditating one day and you start to see this amazing meditation that could be used to help create harmony on the planet. And that if everyone knew this meditation, like how amazing it would be, like if we all meditated on this particular mantra or something. And it's so clear to you, you can feel it in your whole body, and you feel the peace that it's bringing to you. And so now you want to go out and share it, and you start trying to share it, and people are like, oh, that's lovely, dear. Thank you so much, right? But the piece that you're missing often, that we miss, is that if you just simply continue to do that meditation by yourself with no one else, that it's going to assist you just like you felt like that's real. It's like, oh, I feel like I'm being healed by this. Oh, this is amazing. And then what happens is the you that's walking around the planet interacting with other people is now embodying that frequency of the very thing that you brought through. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to create a big movement around it. You are it. You are the movement. You are the activation. You are the wisdom. And you don't have to do something to force it to move. If you feel called to, you just offer it. You just offer it to others and see where it takes you. Being totally unattached. And if you need support with being unattached, talk to other people and let that frustration out, and then go back and do that meditation and remind yourself of what it really is, what it really means to be of service and to be a love amplifier, what that really means, because that's why we're here. So thank you, Gerda, for that kind of two-part question. I hope that helped. So if no one else has any questions, I'll give you one last chance to ask any questions. And while you're thinking if there's anything else you want to ask, I am going to just share a few things at the end, which is one, if you're not on the Amplify, I'm going to read it because otherwise I'm going to forget something. If you're not on the Amplify Love Facebook group, please come and join. It's a public group, although I didn't invite everyone and their brother. I wanted it really to be people who resonated with Amplify Love. And if you're on it, invite people that you feel will really benefit from it. And I will post a link to the recording so that you can, and Jeannie, I think, I don't know if you put it in the messages here in the chat, but there'll be a link. You can go to it, but give me a little time until the end of the day before it's actually live on the YouTube channel. And and then I am going to be doing more of these. I've been tuning in, and I think it really is a time where we can come together and really support each other. And I want to keep supporting you in whatever way I can. I will say, I don't have it on my website yet. I have it for those of you on my newsletter list. I did put it in my last notification that I sent you. I do have a donate button. I'm doing these, as complimentary from love and from the heart. But if you do have the means and you want to donate, it's going to allow me to keep doing these, because there are people right now that financially can't afford a session with me, or, are able to pay for things right now. And I want to be able to help as much as possible. So I will say that. And also, I did add something on my offerings on my website, which is thecosmicconduit.com. And it's a 20-minute kind of mini session. It's a little bit about like what we did here, in just, you can ask a question, but it's 20 minutes, so we can go deep into one thing that's going on. And I made it really, really super affordable so people could have another option of working one-on-one with me. Jeannie just posted in the chat that YouTube channel, and it's not a private channel, but it's not a wide, I'm not publicizing it because I want to be able to post these webinars on there, and not everyone wants, to be seen by the entire world. So you have to have the link in order to get on there. So my loves, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you, Jeannie, who really, she was, I think, the straw that saved the camel's back, where it was kind of like, you have no more excuses. You're being called to do these webinars. I'll help you, said Jeannie. So thank you so much. I love you. And just remember that we're here. The whole idea behind Amplify Love is to remember that what I was saying before, that we don't have to make it complicated. We're being called to simplify in so many ways, and that includes how we're here to serve, how we're here to help others. So in little ways and in small ways, just do what you're called to do, and it's all okay. Much love to all of you. Mwah! And we can unmute it so we can say goodbye. Jeannie, I'm not sure how to unmute everyone, so I'll let you do that.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mwah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.